Hello guys, so before we start this video, I'm really sorry that I didn't make a video earlier because, it was a blackout, so I'm going to make this video pretty late, so I'm really sorry if you wanted to see it pretty early, so yeah, so let's begin. Hello guys, I am back from another video, and today we're talking about where deku was abandoned. So I'm not going to summarize it because I'm going to make it pretty fast because, I'm gonna be playing a Terraria game with my cousin. So yeah, so let's begin then. So Izuku is basically exercising a little bit in this room, where Izuku was told by the creator, aka the producer of the Ragnarok project, being named Vanessa Afton. And yes, I'm named her that because it was the only name that I can think of off the top of my head. So yeah, so Vanessa says this to Team Ragnarok. So all of you guys are gonna be going to Japan. As Rose says, wait for a second. Sorry about that guys, it was just my cousin. So Rose says this. Wait, we're going to Japan? Can't wait. And also, by the way, Izuku and the rest of Team Ragnarok are now 18. So this is going to be, instead of like UA High, it's going to be called UA College or UA University. So Vanessa says this. Yeah, we're going to be going to to Japan because apparently, UA was attacked by this group named the League of Villains. As Izuka says this. So they were attacked then. This is going to be interesting. So, as they were basically talking, one of the scientists says this, Miss Vanessa, as Vanessa says, what is it, my, colleague? He says, it seems that somebody attacked one of the military bases, as she says, really? Huh. Izuku, Team Ragnarok, I need you to take down these, terrorists. So, after they were dispatched to go to attacked military base, they see several of these, villains attacking the military base and seem to be getting this large, cannon, as Izuku recognizes it as the, quark-destroying cannon, which basically anybody that's in the brunt of the attack, their quirk basically disappears. It's basically like all for one, where it takes the quirk. So Izuku drops down from the helicopter, including the rest of Team Ragnarok. Izuku summons out his sword, and yes, this is what Izuku's suit looks like. So Izuku brings out his broadsword and basically starts slashing the villains. For Jason, as in Jason, I mean Tristan, which I'm really sorry that I called Tristan Jason. I didn't really mean to say that. So anyway, so Tristan starts charging in, as Tristan basically brings out his bow and creates a arrow made from his spine. So he shoots it out as it slices through one of these villains, basically turning him into a kebab. So for Rose, she's basically poisoning everybody using her poison. Her poison is even melting some of these quick users that have hardening quirks, causing them to die. The leader of this group says this. You really think that you can kill me? I have a really powerful strength quirk, ready to die. As he starts charging in at Izuku, as Izuku basically stops him by using just using one finger, just like basically stops him with just one single finger. As he says, "What?" As Izuku says, "Nothing," because if you didn't know in the last video, I told all of you guys that Izuku prefers to talk to people that are in high level or the same level as Izuku, like for example heroes, and people that earn highest status, like for example UA's, well, principal being Principal Nezu, or Mr. Yayorozu. So Izuku, after basically stopping him with just one of his fingers, Izuku brings out his, well, Kodachi, which is basically a little sword. That little sword basically transforms into a katana, using the water to be using the water to basically, well, how do I say it? Encapsulate it, and basically turning it into, well, a katana, as the katana stabs through him, basically killing him. So after that, Jason says, "Ugh, that was a waste." And then Tristan says, "Ugh, that was a waste." And for, well, Rose, she says, "Yeah, pretty boring. After all, they're bark and no bite." So after the general basically, well, thanked them, they started going back to, well, the facility where they're being told that they're gonna be going to, well, Japan. So after preparing all of their stuff, they started going to Japan, where they're gonna be staying at UA High. So they were told that they were that Class 1A and Class 1B, that they basically got attacked in school by the League of Villains. So after Izuku was told by them, I mean, as in them, I mean, well, Vanessa. Vanessa's also going to be going to UA, so they can monitor, she can monitor, well, Class 1A, and basically, well, borrow some of their quirks. As in borrow, I mean steal them. As in steal them, I mean she's going to, like, copy some of their quirks and use them on, like, well, some other people. So when they made it to UA, they see Class 1A. So the UA teacher told, well, Team Ragnarok that they're going to be introducing themselves later. So Class 1A basically see them as one of them, which is a girl with, well, green hair and green eyes, says hello. And that girl was named Izumi, which is Izuku's sister, or long lost sister. So after Aizawa introduces everybody to Izuku's team, being called Team Ragnarok, and, well, Vanessa, Vanessa Afton, they basically start sitting down, as they were told by Aizawa that they're going to be going to, well, to the USJ. So when they were in the bus, everybody starts, well, talking to, well, Vanessa, which they're obviously going to talk to Vanessa because, well, she's a famous producer of, well, hero items. And not only that, she's also pretty famous in the biology of, like, science. Like, for example, creating, well, nanotechnology, and this is what Izuku's quirk is. As in quirk, I mean nanosuit. It's made from nanotech, which basically allows him to I meant, making his suit really flexible in battle. So when one of them, being a girl by the name of, well, wait for a second, of Ochako, tries to say hi to Izuku, but Izuku doesn't talk to her because Izuku prefers not to talk to people that are low in level, like for example, Todoroki or Bakugo, especially Bakugo, because Izuku, after seeing his personality, he doesn't like him at all. Izuku's wearing his, well, nanosuit, including um well, Tristan and Rose. They were basically, well, not talking to them. So when Aizawa tells everybody that they're already there to the USJ, well, they started going down into the ground as they see, well, the hero known as 13. So while they were basically, looking around the USJ, Izuku tells, well, both Tristan, and, Rose to get ready because they feel some villains arriving. So when the villains arrive, they get ready to attack Izuku first. So Izuku is basically in front of the class. Izuku brings out both of his Kodachi and his broadsword. So Izuku uses the water Kodachi to basically create a water katana, slicing the heads off of the rest of the villains. One of them, being a boy by the name of Tenya Ida, says this: "Wait, why is he killing all of these villains?" As for Vanessa, she says, "Well, it's in his programming, I guess I can call it. After all, he used to be a orphan. But ever since he got adopted by the general, well, he has this mentality of killing those that are pretty much bad people, especially villains." As she says to both Tristan and Rose, she basically says this: "Kill them. I want them to suffer." So Tristan brings out his bow as he shoots out a arrow made out of his body. So the quill, aka arrow, basically stabs into one of them, basically killing him instantly. So for Rose, she starts teleporting everywhere, slaughtering the rest of these villains like it was nothing. So Konigiri teleports the rest of class running into their respective places. For Izuku, Rose, and Tristan, they basically started ripping apart every single villain. So when it's Konigiri and um well Konigiri and Shigaraki are left, Konigiri summons out the Nomu. Izuku hears a scream, and it's a girl that Izuku met in UA, and that girl is named well Kaminari. And yes, I'm gonna make Kaminari a part of the ship. As in part, I mean there's gonna be two girls, and the other girl I don't know. You can pick in the comments. The second girl is going to be Kaminari. So Izuku tells both Tristan and Rose to get ready to attack that Nomu thing. So they started charging at the Nomu. As for Izuku sees Kaminari being a hostage. A guy with a skull mask and seems to have electricity quirk, basically threatening both of well both Jiro and Momo, while threatening both of them. If they come closer, he's gonna kill Kaminari. So Kaminari is basically in his dum dum mode right now, and Izuku decides to do this. Izuku lays down. Wait for a second. So Izuku goes close to the ground and brings out his sniper, using his electricity to basically charge it up. Izuku aims it at the head of the villain. As Izuku says this under his breath, "Bullseye." As the shot rings out across the USJ, killing the villain that was threatening Kaminari. As Jiro sees Izuku wielding his sniper rifle, as Jiro says this: "Wait, did you kill a villain?" As Izuku doesn't tell her anything. So as for Momo, she says, um, "Is Kaminari okay?" Kaminari is basically still in her dum dum mode. So she's pretty much okay. So Izuku carries her bridal style. As for Momo, she says, "What are you doing?" Izuku doesn't talk to her. As Izuku brings her to the right next to the doors of the USJ. So Izuku brings out a pack of, well, as in a pack, I mean a car battery, which Izuku hooks it up to her body. Izuku keeps it with him because, well, Izuku doesn't have a dum dum mode. It's more like a his body starts, well, becoming weaker the more he uses electricity. So that's why he usually uses a sniper rifle, because it's really really long to use to reload. So it's easier for him to basically, um well the easier for him to basically recharge. So it's basically like photosynthesis slash, energy taking. He's either able to basically get his powers his electricity quirk from the sun, or from getting electricity from different sources, like for example power plants, or from that car battery. So Izuku, after well linking it up with, Kaminari, Izuku turns it on as Kaminari starts sucking up all of these, well, volts. As as she basically gets off her, dum dum mode, she sees Izuku bridal style holding her, and she says, this is awkward. Can you at least put me back down? Izuku sighs and doesn't talk to her because, she's pretty much weaker than Izuku. And I mean a lot weaker. Not as weak as, like, Mineta, but maybe about the same. So, after Izuku puts her back down, Izuku, well, tells her, I mean, gestures to her that she can keep the car battery. So, after everybody was, safe, they basically started going back to UA, where they were told that is where they're going to be going to have dorms. In Izuku's case, and and Team Ragnarok, and Vanessa, they're gonna be staying in the UA dorms as well, but they're gonna be staying in there first. So when they made it to the dorms, Jason says, "Well, these dorms seem comfy." As Izuku goes to his, dorm room, as Izuku sees, a second and third bed, Izuku thinks in his mind, I'm guessing that's supposed to be for, well, I meant Tristan and Rose. As when Izuku goes, to the principal's office, Izuku sees, wait for a second, UA University's Principal Nezu. So, Izuku tells him, so, are these, that bunk bed, right next to me for, for, Tristan and, Rose? He basically says no. As Izuku says, why? As he says, well, it seems that your social skills are, how do we say it, pretty bad. It seems that your only friends are Rose, Tristan, and your boss, Vanessa. So I'm gonna be giving two of those, bunk beds to two other people. So yeah. So Izuku, after leaving, Izuku goes to his, brand new bedroom as he goes to sleep. So before you leave, guys, I want you to comment down below which girl is going to be, the second ship for Izuku. So anyway, goodbye.